You're listening to Popcorn and Politics. What's the real deal? Hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney and Derek J. Wilson. Asking the hard-hitting questions you want answers to. From political leaders and political hopefuls from around the world.
And welcome to another edition of Popcorn and Politics. I'm your host, Audrey Bell Kearney, along with my co-host, Derek J. Wilson.
Hey, how you doing today?
I've been better.
You been better?
I've been better. So my granddaughter goes to daycare with all the other little snotty nose kids, right? And they all get
Yeah.
colds, and they come and get a cold to me. And it's so crazy because I freak out every time I get any kind of sniffles. I start freaking out like, oh my God. And so I just have a cold. So, and then I just had a cold like 2 weeks ago, and I went and got tested. I'm like, okay, good. Then I come back and get another cold. I'm like, okay, forget it. I throw my hands up.
Well, outside of the cold, I heard that the stomach flu has been going around as well. So I know a couple of people who that came in contact, and I don't know if their kid was in daycare, but I know their kid brought it home, and now they all have the flu, the stomach flu. So
Oh Lord, don't tell
it's
me I gotta ban Sugar Baby to her own house. Like, don't come over, Sugar Baby. Don't come over.
yeah.
And it's
Well,
so
if your child is under the age or the grandbaby is under the age of 5, one, they can't be vaccinated for COVID, so that's that risk. And then, as anybody with kids will always bring everything home to you.
my daughter
So
says it all the time. She's like, kids are the nastiest little creatures. She's always say that, right? And I'm like, why you say that about them? Now I know. She's like, that's because
yeah,
you and because her name is Carter, y'all. I call her Sugar Baby. Me and Sugar Baby always like drinking out the same cup. I was like, Sugar Baby, you cannot drink out my cup
oh
anymore because you're
yeah,
freaking me out right now. So
oh
anyway,
no, oh no, I don't play that. I never did. And so when it came down to kids, I love my kids to death, but I be playing with them, but the moment they started drooling and throwing up, I'm like, oh nope, 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 get your I tell my wife, get your baby.
oh, it's her
And
baby then. Like little throw up
oh
baby was
yeah,
her baby.
oh yeah. I change diapers every now and then, but for the most part, like I just didn't do that whole puking and spitting and slobbing. Yeah, I ain't like that at all.
Oh,
That was
oh my goodness.
that's a turn off to parenthood. They don't tell you that in the books.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So listen,
But
guys, we got a good show for you today. But before we got Gwinnett Solicitor General Brian Whiteside is going to be joining us shortly. But before we get with him, we're going to talk about some. Listen, they talking about the maps again. So Derek, what's up with the maps, man? What's up with the Gwinnett County Commissioner maps? What's up with that?
so the 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 Gwinnett delegation is a majority Democrat delegation. I want to say out of House and Senate is maybe 4 Republicans in
Mm-hmm.
the delegation, and I could just be I think it's 4. But anywho, the Republicans are in the minority, and so, but they're in the majority of the House of the complete Georgia House in Georgia Senate. So basically, what the minority Republicans in the Gwinnett delegation is doing and has done is bypass the Democrats in the Gwinnett delegation and went straight to the general, where they have the majority, and they're pushing maps that are, I mean, that's no other way to word it, but they are trying to gerrymander in order to get power back in Gwinnett, uh, which I find interesting because, as we know, 10 years ago, during the last redistricting, the Republicans were in charge as well. They was in majority. At that time, they was in a majority at the Gwinnett delegation as well. They did the maps. So the Democrats won based on the maps that the Republicans wrote, last time, and yet now, so now they okay, well, now they're trying to redraw the maps again, and I mean, in my personal opinion, let them redraw the map however they want to draw it. At the end of the day, I feel like the Democrats will still prevail because every time they change the rules, all we do is you know get
All we
better and
do is
better.
win, 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 no
Yeah,
matter what. I feel like that's the song, right?
yeah.
So right now we have we have four commissioners and a chairwoman. If they redraw the maps, is that going to give us six commissioners, eight commissioners, or not 10 commissioners? What does that mean?
Well, they're not. I guess they abandoned that idea of trying to add additional commissioners. Now they're just trying to make a commission district more red. You know,
Mm,
and by doing so, they're trying to get a commissioner, a Republican commissioner, on the on the mantle, because they feel like that they feel like that they're not being heard, although they're in the minority right now. If Democrats are continuing to win seats in the county,
hmm.
that's but you got the four representatives, and forgive me if I'm off a number or whatever, but I know it's less than a majority. And
So so now with the so you say they're trying to make one district red. So for people that are watching for the first time, they don't really know what that means. So right now there are majority Democrats in the seats right now. What district are they trying to make red? Any district they can get, or what?
well, it looks like they're doing District 4, the north part of Gwinnett. So that's District 4, that's currently held by the first black commissioner ever to be on a commission board in Gwinnett County in 200 years. They're trying to basically redraw her district to make it more white, and more white as in race, and more red as in Republican, and to basically make it so she doesn't win re-election. Um, and
Hmm.
so that district and the maps, if I can I can pull up the uh the maps that they're proposing. So they're tr- they're ultimately trying to remove 16 precincts out of her district that
Wow.
she won. I mean, she won 15 of the 16 precincts. Uh, and
Wow.
yeah. So they trying to remove. So if they remove those 16 precincts out of her district, uh, she could ultimately have a challenge of winning re-election in her area. And so just a little facts about that district. So during her election in 18, she won 15 of those 16 precincts, and Biden won all 16 of those precincts.
Wow.
Doing
Really?
so Yeah. So in 18 she won 15, and in 20 Biden won all 16. So these are heavily Democrat districts that they just trying precincts that they're just trying to pull out of her, and remap them to the other side. So uh, that's going to be interesting if that passes. Uh, which I guess at this point the only way to stop it is to, I guess, for them to take it to court. That's the only thing, you know, to stop it at this point, because it's moving through. It's moving through the House, the Senate. I think everything gets pushed over to the Senate now, but it's majority Republican, so therefore, um, it's going to be it's going to be hard for Democrats. So they basically moving. And if I can, I don't share my screen. If you want me to share my
Yeah.
screen
You
real
can share
quick.
it. Yeah. Go ahead. Share it.
Okay. Oh, we're also broadcasting on the radio, but
Oh yeah, sorry
uh,
about that, y'all. So we're on American One, American One Radio right now. So sorry y'all can't see it on American One. However, if you want to see what Derek is sharing, you can go to LinkedIn. You can also go to Facebook, Popcorn and Politics on Facebook as well, and Twitter. We're all over the place. You
yeah,
YouTube, find us.
we're all over the place. So let me get it up. So if you look at the screen, is it shared yet? There we go.
There we go.
Uh, so this is the new map that they're trying to push. So let me show the. So this is the current map.
Mhm.
Districts 1, 2, 3, 4. And
Mhm.
so as you see, District 4 is mostly in, Lawrenceville, parts of Beaufort, West Haven, and maybe a little slither of Brownston. And then you see 1 is Sugar Hill, Swanee, Duluth. Now the new map that they're trying to propose would basically, I mean, you see how it takes the entire northern part of the county, and so by
Right.
doing that. Yeah, so by doing that, it basically makes this part of the county more red. Well, it makes that district more red by putting all of the quote unquote Republican areas together in one district to make a Republican district. Ultimately, that's what they're trying to do, and that's what they're pushing.
Wow. Well, we know that this election cycle is going to be one for the records as usual, because we got a lot going on. So I don't know if is Solicitor General Whiteside ready to come up yet, so we can bring him to the stage,
Let me see. Let me-
because he too is running for re-election for Solicitor General, and he has a challenger, a Democratic challenger at that. Is what are they Democrats? Or are they
Well,
just not really?
no, they're Democrats. They're Democrats.
Okay.
Democrats and Republicans. It's a partisan seat. Let me
Okay.
see. Commissioner Whiteside, can you hear us?
I see his video screen spinning, so he's trying to come up.
Yeah.
I have a
Well,
graduation to go to today, so I'm running as usual. It's supposed to be my rest day.
well, I think yesterday was my rest day. I've been running on all cylinders the last couple of weeks. Dealing with the many projects that I have to deal with, and it's only getting better as more and more as we get more momentum and pick up. So I'm excited about what I have going on. Uh, but yesterday was my semi rest day. I did a little work, but I just wore out, man. I ended up taking a nap, and then I ended up watching a show on Amazon called Reacher, and didn't go to bed 2 something this morning. 'Cause I kept watching it back to back to back to back. Yeah, so it was a great show. Well, I don't know what's I guess they're having technical difficulties over there at the solicitor with Solicitor Whiteside. So I think we can just, I guess, move on to the next story. I don't know if you heard about what's going on with the Gwinnett School Board. The GOP are firing it on at multiple fronts. Not only are they attacking the board of commissioners, but they're also going after the education board, school board. They accuse of they accuse of the board chair, Dr. Therese Johnson, as being racist. GOP lawmaker targets Gwinnett School Board chair over views on racism, and you know, she's I ain't gonna say she's radical, but she's definitely unapologetic uh black, and I think that's a problem to some of the people who I guess in their eyes they unapologetic white is so you know and they don't like to be told about. I feel like they don't like to be told about Black history in general, you know, because you know this is Black History Month, and whenever I feel like whenever Black people talk about their history, we there's always pushback. There's always some type
Yeah.
of not only we have the shortest month in the year to celebrate, you know every other um every other group that has a celebratory month. I mean, they get a full 30 days.
Who picked
We get,
February?
yeah, we get. You said who picked February?
Yeah.
Well, the history behind Black History Month started off as Black History Week, and it blossomed into the month. I don't know how February was chosen, but you know, it that's what we have. Is 28 days. It get up to 29 every 4 years, but like I said, every other group have up to 30 days, and then before some very intelligent person say, well, white people don't have a month. Well, the reason why the groups have to have months is because for the longest our histories wasn't recognized. Our contributions to society, in particular this country, was ignored. And so that's why the creation of each month, Women History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, the Asian, the Asian Pacific Heritage, all those different months were formed in order to, you know, shine the spotlight on the different groups that made this country what it is. And so, um, you know, but yeah, so they've been attacking her. They're trying to get her. I don't know if their goal is to get her removed or
Just
censored.
got there, didn't she? Good Lord.
Well, she got there in 20. Yes, in 20. So she's into her second year of of being a board member. This is her first year. I should say her second month of being the board chair.
Right.
Uh, but they're just going. It's just amazing. I don't think anyone imagined running for a school board or being on the school board would 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 bring this much. I ain't gonna say, I mean, excitement. I mean, she's received death threats. She done
What?
had to, yeah, she done, I mean, she done had to get a security on her home. She ended up getting a gun. She said she had to get a gun, get a permit license and get a gun for security because she felt like, which would be a great question for the solicitor. She said that when she went to law enforcement to show them the things that was being said to her, they told her that they couldn't do anything because there wasn't any direct threats. So you know it's unfortunately a lot of times I feel like law enforcement is can be is more reactive than proactive in certain circumstances. And I think in
But
this
you know what's crazy
circumstances,
about that, right? You know what's crazy about that? So they're
well,
going through all of that because she want to tell our story, right? And it's the story repeating itself over and over again because that's the problem. Like you
yeah,
wouldn't be so ashamed of your history, but then you repeat the same history by doing the stuff you're doing right now. Think about that for a
yeah,
second, right? Because the
yeah.
history, the story she wants to tell is how we were brought here, how we were treated when we were brought here. And what are you doing?
Yeah, because they're changing the narrative. I don't know if you guys remember years ago, Ben Carson said that we was brought over here as indentured servant, brought over here for indentured servitude for a better life.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the narrative that I guess they're trying to paint. Like slavery wasn't wasn't bad. It was indentured servitude. We provided them a better life.
Somebody should have smacked him when he said that.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. But and then speaking of the whole racial thing, as you're aware, last year the Confederate monument that was in front of the old courthouse in Gwinnett County was removed, as well as many other Confederate monuments all across the country has been removed. Well, the Sons of the Confederate Veterans Group here in Gwinnett County is suing over the removal of that monument. Uh, they feel like it's their constitutional right to have that monument on display. Uh, and also, Commissioner Whiteside was very instrumental. Commissioner, Solicitor
Solicitor.
Whiteside, yes, Solicitor Whiteside was very monumental in the removal, getting that removed. What are your thoughts on that? They suing to get it back.
It's so crazy because that part of history is okay to keep intact, right? But other parts of history is not. So I feel like it's well, we already know it's one sided. It has always been one sided, and no matter how hard we fight for equality, it's always one sided. My mom, they're gonna sue anyway. They're gonna do what they want to do, and we have to figure out how to say no. It's not gonna
Yeah,
happen on our watch. That's pretty much it. Because when you look at everything we're going through right now, just like with the bill going through the house, it's just flowing through like the river. Like, what can you do
yeah,
about that?
yeah. And and that's the interesting thing. The Republican Party used to be the party of small government. you know,
Mm.
and 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 what they're doing small and local government uh, is what they're doing. is basically bringing in larger government and taking away the power from local government. And I see Commissioner. I mean, I don't know. I keep on trying to make him Commissioner.
Solicitor
I
General
see
Whiteside.
Solicitor General Whiteside is
Yes.
oh. Can you hear us now?
Yes, I'm here if you guys can hear me.
We hear
Yes,
you fine,
sir.
sir.
It's been a while trying to get in here. Thank you very much.
That's all right. How you
How's life
doing
treating you
today?
guys?
Well, I got a cold, solicitor, but I'm okay.
Okay. Well, if it's a cold, that's the good thing. It could be worse, you know.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
can I
yeah. Just
say?
a cold. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I know you was having a few technical problems, so
Yeah.
we want to jump on in. So I know Derek got a bunch of questions for you to talk about where you are
Yeah.
and what you're doing. So I won't.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk less because my throat is itching. So I'm not gonna talk as much
Okay.
today.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna let Derek.
Okay.
We don't need
All
you
right.
on here
Thank you.
screeching up the airways.
And I see Derek's camera is rotating also there. But Audrey, I can respond on one thing, which is the legislature trying to take over the partisan and nonpartisan issues
Yeah.
and trying to have boards that oversee the school board, the election boards, and the way they did the map. It's, everything they're doing is unconstitutional. So it'd be great when Derek gets back on. But I can tell you right now that we're going to file a letter to the Attorney General to basically say those actions are not constitutional. Because see, the Georgia Constitution specifically states that voters elect local officials to make local decisions. Now that's part of the Georgia Constitution. But a lot of people don't recognize that every state has a constitution. And that constitution has articles in there, just like there's articles or amendments in the United States Constitution. And one of the key parts about that is that local voters basically decide local issues. And that's one reason I filed the motion against the Confederate Monument, because people expressed the desire that it was basically not representative of the community. And actually, the monument was a threat to the community because it was causing disturbances.
Mhm.
So, based upon that fact, we filed a motion to remove it. The damage to the monument and the reflections, it did not reflect the community standards, high standards of the community, and it was causing civil disturbances. Now, when you look at what's going on now, like what they did to Marlene, basically, if you look at the Georgia Constitution, and I'm coming out on Wednesday with a letter to the Attorney General that states the article and the actual specific case that says these issues are illegal. And if they do file, we're going to file an injunction to stop that.
Now
Now,
you're
just
talking
like
about
when they said that to hand out water at election areas was illegal, I filed a motion. I'm the only Solicitor General in America, because this happened in like Texas and a couple other states also, where they filed these actions that you couldn't have food or water at the polls handed out by citizens, or it'd be a crime. I informed the governor and the legislature.
oh
We lost them.
we lost them. It was getting good too.
It was because I
Uh,
had questions. Even though I said I was going to talk a little bit, I had some questions about that whole water thing.
and then also, I mean, to continue on what he
You
was
also.
saying about being the first
So
in
if you have any questions
oh,
about that, I can move forward. But everything they're doing is not legal. It's against the Constitution at all points. Because when you elect a commissioner, they make the decisions should it be partisan or not. And actually, you're supposed to put that as a referendum, because the Georgia Constitution specifically states that voters and local officials decide local events. So they're in violation of the Georgia Constitution, because a lot of these people who voted on these issues in regard to the maps, they don't have any type of elected office in Gwinnett County. These people are from other counties, from the 100 and some
100 and what 59 counties in the state. Uh, he's
will
in a bad
lose in a
reception area.
court challenge.
Yeah. Hey, so Solicitor Whiteside, uh, continued on that track record of nonpartisan. Uh, we know that you're running for re-election, and one of the opponents in the in your primary uh, goes on record as saying that they believe that
Looks like we
your
lost
race.
lost some of our people there.
We're here, Brian.
Yeah.
We see
Yeah, we
you.
hear.
Can you
Can you
not?
hear us?
You don't hear us? I don't think he can hear
Because
us here.
yeah, it seems like he's having technical difficulty. Well, my question was because since we was asking, uh, one of the opponents in the solicitor race for Gwinnett County went on record stating that they believe that their seat should be nonpartisan, and so I was just wondering, what does the current Solicitor General, how does he feel about that thought? If he can hear me.
I don't, I don't think he can hear us.
Okay. Well, let's see if we can get him back on.
I mean, we can see him. He can't
Yeah,
hear us or see us.
yeah, unfortunately.
This may be one of those ones where we have to redo because of the technical issues that we may be having. Like we can see him and hear him. I don't know if he can see or hear us.
Yeah, we might have to redo this one because this one was set up to be a good one.
Oh yeah, it just dropped out again. All right, so my throat is itching. You know, it's crazy because half the time I don't know if I got a cold or if I got allergies. Like my throat itches so bad, I just want to dig and it just. So I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I'm trying not to talk as much. I thought Brian was going to get on here, you know, but he's having issues. Now let me ask you this, Derek, because you may know this as well. So if the states have their own constitution and there are lawsuits being filed against some of the referendums that's coming down the pike, what does that mean? Like if like take for instance our 180, what is it, senators? That's what it is, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know the exact
Sorry.
number.
I think Donna said it was 180 and 77 was Democratic. Even if they file these lawsuits, what do that mean for us? Can they get them through? Does it go to the White House, to the state, to DC? Once they get past this, what does that mean? Because I think for a lot of people, they don't know exactly what that process looked like. So if I'm filing a lawsuit because something has passed through the House and through the Senate, now I'm filing this lawsuit. Where does it go, and who votes on that? Who decide that?
Well, the lawsuit. I mean, so as we all know, there's three levels of government, and on the federal level, you got the exec. Well, on federal and state, you have the executive, the legislation, and the judicial. I mean, that's all the same in all 50 states as well as the federal. So it's supposed to, it's a check and balance system. Um, the the legislation does what they do, and then if all else fails, it goes to the executive, which is the branch, which is the governor. The governor signs into law. The checks and balance of the governor, the executive, and the legislator is the judicial. So like Solicitor Brian was saying, that what the legislation is doing is unconstitutional. Well, the only branch that can put a halt to the legislation outside of a veto from the governor is a judge. And then and then there's multiple levels, because say solicitor them, send it, it goes to the court, and the judge says this is unconstitutional. Well, there's multiple levels of courts, because then now the legislature can come back and they can appeal it, and then that goes to another level of court, and then the ultimate level is the Supreme Court. Now each state has their own Supreme Court as well.
Hmm.
So you have the U.S. Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the country, but then each state has their own Supreme Court. And then if it gets that bad, uh, I don't know if they can take the state maps to the U.S. Supreme Court, but I do know they can go up to the state Supreme Court. But I'm no lawyer, and so I can't speak on that. But I can just speak on the different levels of government that we have in our country. And so that's the check and balance. So that's what Brian or Solicitor Whiteside was referring to, was when he was saying, you know, that they're filing lawsuits, and those lawsuits slow down the process, because depending on the outcome, if the outcome, if the judge rules it unconstitutional, then it completely stops that law, that bill becoming into law. Uh, but if the judge sides with the legislation, then it clears the pathway for the governor to sign it. Similar to what they did about the heartbeat bill. That
Mm-hmm.
was sued. That was sued multiple times. That did not. It wasn't overturned. Same thing in the state of Texas. Their abortion law hasn't been overturned yet by a judge. Uh, Same thing like the Brown versus the Board of Education. That desegregated school. That was a court case by the U.S. Supreme Court that overturned the law. So that's the only way to get, once a law is in place, the only way to get it overturned is either it's taken off the books by the same legislation that put it on the books,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or the same legislators that put it on the book, or it's overturned by the judicial system. And so
Wow.
it's going to be a lot of fighting. So I don't know. The interesting part about it is how long will it be dragged on, because we're in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of election year, and
Right.
these maps go into effect this year.
In March,
If
right? Is it
Yeah,
March?
well, March is when people start qualifying. Yeah, that's when candidates have to qualify. So you don't candidates will be qualifying based on maps that they don't know if, even if they live in the district, if they're eligible for this. They just don't know at this time, because I think this is going to be a long legal battle that could drag out. And I don't know if the legal battle has to be completed in a certain time frame. If so, it may not be long drawn out, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fight, uh, because I mean, rightfully, it should be a fight, because like Commissioner Solicitor Whiteside is saying, you know, l- in local legislation is done by the local delegation, and
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing here in Gwinnett is taking it out of the local delegation and making it a general law bill. So it's going to be interesting, and I really wish he was here, to so we can pick his legal brain and
Yeah,
talk about all the
he
things that he's been doing.
So maybe what we need to do is, because I know we're booked up through February, maybe what we need to do is bring him back on an episode next month, because I know I think we have some slots available next month. Do we have any slots? Because I know people have been jumping on here.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know
well, we have some tentative lists. Let me see. Okay, he's back. Let me see. Can you hear us now?
we can't hear you,
Yeah,
solicitor.
now we can't hear you.
You say you can? Okay,
We
it's been
can't. Oh,
interesting.
you hear us?
Okay.
We hear you? Okay, wait a minute. We cooking with fish grease right now. Okay.
Can you
Okay.
hear us? Can you hear us now, Solicitor?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So
Derek,
well,
I can't see Derek, but I can hear you.
Can you hear Derek?
okay.
No, I can't hear him, but I can hear you clearly. It's his camera's black, for some
Oh,
reason.
okay.
But all my bars are up, and we're got Wi-Fi going, so it's just something strange happening. So.
Okay.
But if you have any
Well,
questions, I'm here to answer them.
Okay. So Derek,
Audrey,
I
I'll
guess
let you go then.
I guess you had a question for him, so just tell me what it is, and I'll say it.
Well, my question was about the nonpartisanship of that's moving across Gwinnett, and I was wondering, his opponent on yesterday stated that they feel like that the solicitor office should be a nonpartisan seat, and I'm just wondering what was his thoughts on that.
So Derek said that your opponent yesterday made a statement that that she's running against you, but she feel like that seat should be a nonpartisan seat. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, so my thoughts about that, that means you're disloyal to the Democratic Party. And specifically, people need to look at this because Derek made the information public that 2 days after they tried to destroy Marlene Foscue and make recommendations of nonpartisanship, because historically in Gwinnett,
Well, Derek, again, we can't get that question answered. You know, I believe in things happening for a reason. So maybe this is not the show for the question. Maybe it's the show. Okay.
But what occurs is that you actually are saying, I don't want to run as a Democrat because you're asking to go nonpartisan, is what the Republicans want to do.
Right. So, so that's pretty deep. So
it seems like we lost you guys again there for some reason there.
Okay. Can you not hear me?
Nah, he can't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think we're gonna have to re-record this. I really think we should do a special episode or something, because next week we will have have his opponent on next week, and so we want to be fair, and so I think we probably should do a rebroadcast, if not later today, find a day during the week, and hopefully that'll work with all parties involved. Yeah.
All right, let's do that. I think that's a great idea. Because I really do. I know I've talking to the solicitor. You know, we both talked to him quite a few times, and so he has a lot to share. And I really want people to hear what he has to say. And so let's try to figure out some time to bring him back on. And you know, I'll make the time. I got to figure out what day it is. It's probably gonna be a Friday or Saturday. Definitely probably won't be Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
It may be tomorrow if his schedule permits, though, because tomorrow's not a bad day for me. Tomorrow evening.
Okay, well, yeah, I can look at my schedule because we definitely need to, get him back on here so he can say what he had to say, and then next Sunday, like I said, we'll have the one of the. I think right now she's the only challenger at this time. Of course, qualifying has not taken place. That's in March, and so once qualifying take place across the country or across the state, then we'll know who's actually running and who's who, and then we'll be able to get even more of these candidates and electeds on air. But I do appreciate his time and him trying to speak to the community and get his message out there. So we'll be reaching out with him. We'll try to do a rebroadcast. We'll link up with American One Radio and see how we can make sure that we're all on the same page of getting this put back out there. And for me, I think it'll be a good time to wrap it up.
Sounds good. Who's our guest next week? Nicole Horn?
No, actually next week is Lisa Marie Briscoe.
The challenger. So the challenger, Solicitor Whiteside challenges our guest next Sunday, but we're going to try to get him back on so you can hear what he has to say. Be sure to tune in next Sunday, same time, same bad place. And so, Derek, thank you again for co-hosting. Solicitor General, I know you're out there somewhere in internet land trying to find us, but we'll bring you back this week if you have the time to let people know more about you and your campaign and why you think you need to stay in this fight and you need to stay in that seat. So be sure to tune in. Listen, just watch our LinkedIn, watch the Facebook page, watch Popcorn and Popcorn Facebook page, and you'll see, when this episode is going to come back again. It's going to be live. So just watch our pages, okay? All right. So listen, that's all we got for you today. We'll be back again next Sunday. Well, maybe tomorrow. But if not tomorrow, definitely next Sunday, same time, same bad place. Listen, y'all stay safe out there. And until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
You've been listening to Popcorn in Politics. What's the real deal? hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney and Derek J. Wilson. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your family and friends. To support the show, visit us on the web at www.popcornandpolitics.com. Connect with us on Facebook at Progressive Popcorn and on Instagram at Popcorn Politics Podcast.